Greetings and welcome to another edition of The Great Goddess. Praise be to Goddess. Praise be to Goddess. Well, Wednesday is come and gone, and the new year is officially here. I took the New Year's Day off, and I apologize to anyone who missed my videos by making my video now, so I hope to make it up to you that I didn't make my video on New Year's Day. But I was really busy New Year's Day. I had lots of things to do and lots of tasks, so I wasn't able to get to my video, but I'm definitely getting to it today. And just so you know, I'm going to be, I plan on getting a job soon. And when I get a job and I'm going to school, I won't be able to make videos on Wednesdays anymore. Wednesdays will still be a holiday for us, an official holiday when we celebrate Goddess. And I hope to continue on Wednesdays in the future. In the future, I hope to make videos on Wednesdays in the future. But for now, I won't be able to make my Wednesday videos. In fact, I'm going to be extra busy on Wednesdays. So I'm not going to be able to make my Wednesday video anymore, but I will make videos once a week when I have the time. And that'll probably be on the weekend, either Friday or Saturday or Sunday. I prefer Friday because Saturday and Sunday, as you know, have a Judeo-Christian religion association and are traditionally celebrated in the Bible, so I would prefer Fridays. Friday is Freitag. It's Frida's day. Frida, the goddess Frida. Friday is her day, so it's a goddess day. So I prefer to make my videos on Fridays if I can find the time on Fridays. I'm going to try to fit in a video at once a week. And I think Fridays are going to be the time when I'm going to be able to make the video. But the rest of the time I probably won't be able to make videos. I'm occupied Monday through Thursday at least. And the only time I can work is Fridays and weekends. So I'm going to be working around the clock, but I promise that I'll try to fit in the video once a week, and that I'll do it probably on Fridays. That'll probably be the day. So don't expect a video on Friday, but I'll try. I'll try to make the video on Friday if I can. But if I'm too busy, I won't be able to, but I'll try. So the topic of today's video is New Year's. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. Enjoy your New Year celebrations with fireworks and whatever else you use. Don't start any forest fires. Be safe. Be careful. There's forest fires raging in Australia now. We don't know if it's fireworks that were illegal that caused the flames, or whether it was smokers. Or maybe a campfire. Somebody set a fire, and now the koalas are endangered. And we all feel for the koalas, the koala bears. They're a critically endangered species. There's a koala bear that burns over most of its body from the fire. And it destroyed a lot of homes, but we care more about the koala bears because humans aren't in any danger. It's the koala bears that are in danger of becoming extinct. So we're really concerned about what's happening to the koala bears. And I hope you don't start any fires. Celebrate the New Year with something other than fires. Go indoors and have some confetti or something. No smoking. No smoking. Don't smoke outside and throw your cigarette butts anywhere, because people think that they go out within seconds, and they don't. They start fires. They really do. So they don't always go out. They sometimes start fires. So don't throw your cigarette butts anywhere. Don't throw your cigarette butts anywhere. Don't do illegal fireworks because you can't control what happens with the sparks. And don't. You can have on a driveway or your front porch some sparklers. Remember, the sparklers leave stains. They you know leave little brown spots, little wax spots that don't come off. But I wouldn't celebrate with sparklers. I celebrate with confetti indoors and then just vacuum up the confetti. Uh, and blowouts and horns, little paper horns, and hats. You can celebrate with hats the New Year, and it's a New Year's celebration. But as you know, every year I make New Year's resolutions, and I usually make a resolution to be a better person and to do better in the new year, and to not swear and not drink and not smoke. I don't smoke anyway. I wouldn't smoke. And but you know to be healthier and better, and to be nicer to people. I can be quite harsh sometimes. You wouldn't think so, but sometimes I can be quite harsh, and I have to be nicer to people. But you do what you can. You do what you can, and you can't do any more than that. But this year it's going to be a little different, because this year I'm in desperate straits. I hate to say this, and I'm sure you can tell just by watching me in my prior videos, but within the space of about 3 months, it took about 3 months, I've gained about 28 pounds. And the situation with my weight is critical. It's becoming really serious because it's beginning to show in my face, and it's beginning to overflow, and I'm getting really fat. So I have to do something. So this year I'm actually going to make a New Year's resolution to lose some weight. And I don't know how much weight I'll lose. Since I made up my mind to make the resolution, I've lost about 5 pounds, which is great. So I've already lost 5 pounds. I'm already there to almost to my goal of getting back to the weight I was at before, 3 months ago. But I'm 5 pounds into my goal, so I'm making good progress. And the changes I've been making have really paid off. So what is entailed by a weight loss resolution, and how do I go about it? Well, I've tried many diets in the past, and I haven't tried Atkins or South Beach, but I don't really trust those diets. They're not really that healthy, so I'm avoiding those diets. But one thing I've noticed is that my weight loss has been stalled for over a year. And I think one of the reasons is because my diet is really high in carbs. And you wouldn't think carbs would make you gain weight. Some people think carbs do nothing in the body. They think carbs absolutely have no effect on the body whatsoever, and that you only gain weight from fat. Only fat has calories, and fat is the enemy. And the carbs are just fine. And they say, your body needs carbs. Yeah, but not that much. Not that much. And my body especially does not need all those carbs. So I am thinking of embarking upon not a keto diet, but a low-carb diet that's vegan. So a vegan low-carb diet. And what can you eat on a vegan low-carb diet? Well, there's plenty of things that are low in carbs that you can eat on a vegan diet. You can have low-glycemic fruit. So fruit is not off the menu as long as it's not canned in juice or canned at all, because all those canned ones have either high fructose corn syrup or juice in them to make them sweet. And so don't eat canned fruit. You can have whole fruit that's been cut up, or you can have bananas, which I love. I love bananas. And bananas are not a low glycemic fruit. They're full of carbs. They're starchy. They're almost like a starchy vegetable. Bananas are. So bananas, less bananas. Bananas to be avoided. And vegetables. You can have any vegetables except potatoes. Potatoes are very starchy. Sweet potatoes are also starchy, not as starchy as potatoes, but they're also a starchy vegetable. Some people think corn is off limits, but corn is really not that starchy. I mean, I know that it's a yellow vegetable and I know that it's got some starch, but it's not got, sweet corn does not really have a lot of starch. Corn chips have a lot of starch. Corn chips have a lot of starch and are very low in protein. But sweet corn is not really all that starchy, and sweet corn is a good source of vitamin C. So sweet corn is okay, but you want to avoid potatoes, sweet potatoes, and starchy roots. So, but carrots are fine. Carrots are great. You can have green beans. You can have green peppers. You can have any leafy greens you want. You can have corn, green beans. Peas are starchy. Now, peas are a starchy vegetable, but they're high in protein. So peas in moderation are okay. You can have peas if you're on a diet. And not everyone wants to lose weight. Not everyone needs to lose weight. But some people do, like me, and I have to do something right away. Peas are okay, even though they're high in starch. Another high starch vegetable that's high in protein is beans. Beans are okay in moderation also. But the mainstay of the diet would be tofu. Tofu and vegetables, because tofu is really high in protein, and it's a good protein source, and it's low in starch. And so tofu mostly. A little oil is okay, not a lot of oil, because oil is very high in fat and it's high in calories. You basically want protein and filling, very filling fiber-rich foods. So, and you can have nuts and seeds in moderation. Nuts and seeds are very high in calories, very high, and they have a high caloric density, but they're okay in moderation. You can have some nuts and seeds, and the nice thing about nuts and seeds for a lot of people, not everyone, but for a lot of people, fat is satiating. It's very satiating, so right after you've had a high-fat meal, you feel full. You actually feel full. So it releases ghrelin and those hunger hormones. Well, I guess ghrelin is a hunger hormone that makes you feel hungry. But it releases that other one. I can't think of it offhand, but it's leptin. Leptin makes you feel full. So the leptin is released after a high-fat meal. So it's good to have some nuts and seeds in moderation. Nuts and seeds are a whole food, so they're better than oil. And you can have, peanut butter or, cashews or whole peanuts, and whole is always the best. So, but you can have peanuts. You can have sunflower seeds. Sunflower seeds are a great source of vitamin E. Peanuts are also a good source of vitamin E, but sunflower seeds are the gold standard for vitamin E. You can have sesame seeds sprinkle that on your food. And it makes you feel satisfied. It makes you feel full. So, and oils to be avoided because it just goes directly into a fat cell. Oil goes directly into a fat cell, so cook with water when you can. But I'm gonna that's one thing I'm gonna do. One thing I'm gonna do is cut the carbs because I have been eating too many carbs, and it shows on every inch of me. The carbs show up, and fat shows up. So I've been eating too much fat and too many carbs and not enough protein. And I've been craving food more because I'm not getting enough protein. And so I have to start adding more tofu to my diet. I've been eating a lot of beans, and beans are high in starch. So maybe cut back on the beans and eat more tofu. Rice is out because is very high in starch and very low in protein, even lower in protein than corn. Corn chips are out. Pasta's out. I get really fat on pasta every time I eat pasta. I don't know what it is about pasta. Maybe it's because it's refined. But every time I eat pasta, I gain 1.5 pounds every time. Sometimes I gain 2 pounds, depending on how much I've eaten. So pasta is a really dangerous food for weight gain, I found. And so if you want to lose a lot of weight, rice is better than pasta, but it's still fattening. But boy, oh boy, is pasta fattening. So I would cut way back on pasta if you're trying to lose weight. The other thing I'm going to try is intermittent fasting. Now, the idea behind intermittent fasting is that you don't eat at certain times of day. There's only a short window that you allow yourself to eat. So it's like a 4 to 6 hour window when you eat 1 or 2 meals. And the rest of the time you don't eat at all. And that could be really helpful to me because I've been eating around the clock, like every single day around the clock. I have breakfast, I have lunch, I have dinner, I snack all day, and it really adds up. It really, really does add up. So restricting the times that you eat can be very helpful for weight loss if you can stick to it. Sometimes you can't stick to it. Sometimes you're just overwhelmingly hungry in the morning. And if that's the case, it's okay to have breakfast. But don't have snacks and lunch and dinner also if you're going to have breakfast. Just eat just breakfast and then dinner. And skip lunch, skip snacks. That's sort of the thing. Only eat when you're hungry. Don't eat when you're not hungry. Don't snack mindlessly. Don't eat for emotional reasons. Don't eat just because you're upset like I tend to do. And I may still need treatment for that. I don't know yet if I'm going to need treatment, but I haven't done anything yet about my emotional eating, and I really should. But the main thing to remember is to avoid eating mindlessly or overeating or eating intentionally because you're upset. So avoid all sorts of snacking of all kinds and grazing. And if it's a problem for you, if you can't control yourself at all, then either lock the food up that's ready-made, ready-to-eat foods. Lock them up so that you're not tempted by them, or at least have to think twice before you graze on them. Or else don't keep them around. Get rid of those foods and don't buy them. But intermittent fasting, really think it could be helpful to me. So I'm going to try it, and I'll tell you how it goes. I'll tell you how the intermittent fasting goes and if it actually helps me or not. The other thing is getting more active. I've been sedentary ever since winter started, and I haven't been doing my usual walks around the building, around the apartment building, and one of the things that bothers me is that there's always people around. There's always people around. They're always hanging out downstairs. And when they see you, they're like, oh, keep going, or oh, you're walking again, or oh, there you are. You know, they always have something to say. They always make little comments, and you just want to get away from them. So I've been trying to get away from them, but then I haven't from the people that make comments that aren't exercising. But then I don't get any exercise. Then I don't get any exercise. I've been taking a lot fewer steps because I've got a step counter and I know how many steps I'm taking. I've been taking a lot fewer steps, and it's affected me. It's made a difference. I gained more weight because I haven't been taking as many steps. So, adding back exercise. And I'm going to get a job very soon. I'm hoping to get a job very soon. And that I figured out just from the job, just from getting a new job. I could lose 65 pounds a year as long as I don't eat anything extra or eat more than what I've been eating. Sometimes when you exercise, it makes you really hungry. And your hunger goes up all the time. And then when you stop exercising, if you stop exercising, your hunger doesn't go back down again right away. And then you gain a ton of weight. So that happened to me over the summer. I was exercising while the weather was nice. I was exercising through the end of September, and then when the weather turned nasty, I stopped exercising, and what do you know, I gained some weight. So just try these things. If you need a job, go get a job that's physical. And if you do a physical job, you burn a lot more calories. You burn calories all the time. Get a physical job and get paid for what you're doing. Don't just work out at a gym and pay them. Make sure they're paying you for physical activity. Get a physical job. You'll lose a lot more weight. If you have a desk job that pays a lot, like if you're pulling down 60 thou a year, and then you can go to a gym. Then you can go to a gym because you're making 5 figures. You're making 5 figures and doing well, or maybe even making 6 figures. Some of you, I don't know how much you're making, but if you're making that much money, you can afford to go to a gym. But if you're not making a whole lot of money, like if you're just working menial labor or minimum wage and you're able-bodied, go for the physical job if you have a choice. Because if you're only making minimum wage or slightly above minimum wage, like 2 times minimum wage, then the physical job, and they're about to raise the minimum wage in 25 states. So people who work at fast food are going to be making a lot more money very soon. Just a hot tip for those of you who can only do that kind of work. So physical labor, making a lot more money, and also getting slim. You might lose 65 pounds a year. Now 65 pounds, that figure is based upon me figuring out for myself, based upon a part-time job, one part-time job. If you're working 2 to 3 jobs, which most people have to make ends meet on minimum wage, if you're working or above, you need to make more than minimum wage, obviously. But if you're working 2 to 3 jobs to maintain your apartment and maintain your living, and you're working 2 to 3 jobs, you're going to burn a lot more calories. You're going to lose a lot more than just 65 pounds. You'll have to eat more because you could lose up to 180 pounds in a year if you don't eat more. And nobody has 180 pounds to lose that can actually do the work. So you'll have to increase your caloric intake, which isn't hard to do. It's not hard to increase your caloric intake. People eat uh, things they like, and they either maintain their weight or even lose weight because they do so much physical activity. So you could easily lose anywhere from 120 to 180 pounds working 2 to 3 jobs. And if you had that much weight to lose, even I don't have that much weight to lose, so I'll probably I do have 65 pounds to lose. I can lose that much weight. So I'm not going to do anything differently. But if you are working 2 to 3 jobs and they're all physical labor, I would recommend strongly that you do increase your caloric intake slightly, so just so you don't lose too much weight, because losing too much weight can be dangerous. And if you don't have that much weight to lose, I wouldn't recommend it. But you can lose a lot of weight working physical labor jobs. And you get paid for it, which is the bonus. You get paid for it. You get paid well. So that's it. The things I'm gonna do differently. I'm gonna get a job. I'm gonna try low carb, and I'm gonna do intermittent fasting. I think the combination of those 3 things is really going to make the difference for me. I really think I'm gonna notice a difference. I'm not gonna cut carbs completely. I'm gonna cut way back on the carbs. I have a lot of carby foods in my cupboard. I get free food all the time. I can't keep the free food out because it just comes into my household, and I can't pick and choose what they give away for free. So I've got a ton of carbs, a ton of pasta, a ton of rice in my cupboards. And I'm just going to eat it slowly. I'm just going to eat like maybe no more than a cup a day of carby foods until they're all gone. And then I won't buy any more because it's just too fattening. It is way, way too fattening. And people who say that carbs do not cause weight gain have never observed it themselves, and they're just blowing smoke. They do not know what they're talking about. And everybody's different. Everybody's body is different. My body really, really utilizes carbs as fat, to make fat. That doesn't utilize the carbs. It really stores them away as fat so that I will survive the winter. My ancestors were starved many, many times. And there were many, many famines. And there were many, many wars. So my ancestors were starved left and right. All my ancestors. And all of my relatives are fat. All of them. You wouldn't imagine. You wouldn't believe that all your relatives could be fat, but they are. And my parents are fat. Both parents, even the one that I won't speak to, is fat. And so everybody's fat in my family, and there's a history of diabetes in my family. There's a history of heart attack and stroke in my family, and cardiovascular disease. So I have to be really careful, and I have to lose some weight. Now, my friend Judy her father died dieting, and he lost too much weight too fast. He went on a 1,000 calorie diet, and he lost over 85 pounds in 3 months, and right after Christmas. He didn't observe Christmas, but right after Christmas time he had a heart attack. And he died, right, instantly. So she's been warning me, don't diet too much, don't diet too much. I'm sort of a young person, and I've dieted before without problems, so I think I'll be fine. But some drastic measures are needed because I've been gaining and gaining and gaining. and I just keep on gaining. I keep on putting on weight, and I have to do something to slow down the weight gain. No more candy. Uh, no chips except as a topping on top of food, and a very little amount. So chips as topping, but no chips for grazing on. And no more pasta, no more junk foods. And why do people want to observe their birthdays, and Christmas and Thanksgiving and all of these holidays, Easter, every year with a bunch of junk? Why do we have a bunch of junk? There's candy at Halloween. There's candy at Easter. On Christmas, and Thanksgiving, there's turkey and mashed potatoes and a bunch of crap and pie. And at Christmas, they eat figgy puddings and who knows what else they eat. They eat a roast at Thanksgiving or Christmas rather. I think that's what they do. I think they eat a roast, and they eat a bunch of junk all year round for each holiday, and most of them are Christian holidays. But why do people do this? Why do people feel the need to celebrate their birthday with something that's horrible for them, like cake with frosting? I mean, if you took a cake mix that was a vegan cake mix and mixed in some applesauce and baked that and didn't put frosting on it, it might be okay. But when you put eggs in and oil, which the recipe calls for eggs and oil and water and then you, or milk, some people use milk in their cakes, and then you bake it and then you put frosting all over it. It becomes a poison to your body. It's a metabolic poison. Why do people want to poison themselves every birthday? Why do they want to celebrate another year of life and surviving another year with junk, with crap? I don't know why people do this or why it's become an American tradition, but I think that it needs to stop. I don't want to celebrate my birthday this way. I don't even want to celebrate my birthday with food. I'd rather have physical gifts that are durable goods. I would rather not have any food on a birthday at all. If I'm going to have food on a birthday, I would eat out at a fancy restaurant that's vegan, and I would have a healthy meal, very healthy meal, and I would not celebrate with a bunch of junk. So it can just consider this. Just consider the idea or the possibility of not eating junk on your birthday. Not eating a bunch of junk on your birthday. If you're going to have cake, make it with applesauce. Skip the frosting. Have one slice. Or two if you must, but no more than 2 slices of it. And just cut the junk. Cut the junk out of your life. Don't celebrate any more birthdays with junk. There's some great recipes for healthy cakes. Some people make brownies with black beans, and they add chocolate to the chocolate, and it tastes pretty good. And some people make frosting out of tofu and maple syrup. If you take extra silken tofu, silken, extra firm tofu that's silken, has to be silken, and blend it up with maple syrup, and you can add cocoa powder that's unsweetened, and makes a terrific frosting. So you can frost a cake healthfully, but the stuff that comes out of a can is pure poison. It's pure poison for your body, and the regular cake mix is okay with applesauce, but you only want it once a year, and you don't really want it all the time. And if you want to be really extra healthy, you would get a healthy cake mix that's not made with extra refined flour. That you get yourself a whole wheat cake mix from the Esselstyn's. They sell cake mix or some other healthy source, and make yourself a healthy cake for your birthday. Why not have healthy cake? Always have healthy cake on your birthday and skip the junk. I'm Sarah Jane Alpha Wolf signing off. And make your New Year's resolutions. Resolve to be a better person if you're already at your ideal weight. But if you're overweight, do consider making a resolution to lose some of the weight, not because of the way you look, although that's a big deal, but because you'll be healthier for it.